Hi everyone, in this video we are going to look at some brand new products from Physicians Formula. These are in the Butter line. There are going to be 2 new eyeshadow palettes and 12 new lip creams with SPF 15. So if you want to see swatches of every one of these shades, including lip swatches, then make sure you keep watching this video. Also remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on videos like this. Please follow on Instagram. The handle is below in the description box. It's Allura_beauty. And also see the description box for links to where you can purchase these online and to eBay so you can get some cash back if you do make an online purchase. All right, let's get looking at Physicians Formula's new Murumuru Butter Makeup products. So as you probably know, Physicians Formula is a drugstore brand, but it's kind of on the expensive side for drugstore. So these items are currently available for purchase through Physicians Formula's website. They will also be available through Ulta. Not sure exactly what date they'll be released. And of course, they should be available at your local drugstore wherever Physicians Formula is sold. Physicians Formula has a lot of products already that contain this ingredient, but they haven't made eyeshadow palettes like this, and this is a new lip formula. So let's start first by looking at the new Murumuru Butter eyeshadow palettes. On Physicians Formula's website, these retail for $16.95 each. That price will vary depending on where you're purchasing these. And as you can see, there are 2 different palettes. The description by the company is, this is the ultimate must-have eyeshadow palettes featuring 12 universally flattering shades to take you from day to night. Incredibly soft and ultra creamy texture, can be applied wet or dry. So first up, a look at the packaging. I would consider this on the bulky side because of the thickness of the palette and the size. It's just a normal plastic palette. Closes with a clasp closure. There's no mirror inside. You are able to see the products or the colors through the lid, and you get a double-ended sponge tip applicator. They're lightweight, they're just large. So this first palette is called Sultry Nights, and I think what I'll do is, you can see these are kind of divided into 3 color families. I'll swatch these as always over eyeshadow primer, kind of going from top to bottom, left to right, if applicable. This palette here is the Tropical Days palette. I'll approach swatches the same way with this one. And with all of the products, the same with the other butter products that already exist in the line or the brand, these smell very strongly. The fragrance is very heavy, very noticeable straight out of the packaging, even before you open these products up. Oh, and the names of each shade are printed on the back of the palette. So first up is Barefoot in Brazil. This is a matte, light to medium nude. White Sands. And this, I think, is a matte white. I have to look up close to see if there's any shimmer in here. Oh, there is very subtle shimmer in there. Next is Coastal Chic. This is a dusty pink rose, also looks matte. Tan Lines, which is a shimmering medium brown. Sightseeing, which is a metallic, lighter, kind of tan bronze shade. Heat Wave is a very warm toned brown, matte finish. Sand Dunes is another medium, more camely, like yellow based brown with a matte finish. Coco Loco is a medium to deep brown. This is pretty neutral brown with a matte finish. Ready for Rio. Now, as soon as I tried to pick this up on the brush, it was noticeably more dry and stiff in the pan. All these other shades have been really buttery and glide across the skin. This is the type of shade you're gonna want to apply with a damp brush. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna do them side by side. So showing you how difficult and patchy and flaky this dry application is. And then the same shade, Ready for Rio, applied with a damp brush. Much smoother application. I am not having to really press hard down on the skin like I did with the dry application. This is a shimmering, kind of bronzy rose, very metallic finished shade. Peer Pressure, but spelled like a pier on the water. And this is a Metallic Royal Purple. Rolling Tides. This one is a medium metallic blue. And last is Island Hopping. This is a matte, very dusty lavender shade. Okay, there are your shades from the Tropical Days palette. At the beginning, all of these shades applied very smoothly. Once we got here, we had to apply with a wet brush. Then these two brighter shades, purple and blue, didn't apply as nicely, and then went back to kind of normal with that last dusty purple. First shade in the Sultry Nights palette is called Vacation, and this is a very pale peachy nude with silver shimmer. Next is Coconut Kiss, which is very similar in tone, but it's metallic. A little less peachy, a little more frosty. Beach Beige is a medium kind of tan shade with a matte finish. Off the Coast is a deeper brown, also with a matte finish. Sundown is a metallic gold. Actually has a really beautiful finish there. Sunset Vista is another metallic. This is more of like a slightly coppery bronze. Rainforest Queen is a metallic golden army green. It's not applying very well. I'm gonna go back in on a second layer. The pan is kind of sealing, meaning there's like a tough film that's developing on the surface of the pan, making it more difficult to pick up and get product to transfer. But it does look so beautiful. Below the Horizon is a royal purple that's matte at the base and actually has blue shimmer in it. Very interesting, and I feel like very different for Physicians Formula to do a color like this. Next is Moonlight Beige, which is a metallic kind of sand colored nude. Reservation for Two is another one of those shades where I'm gonna apply it with a wet brush. It's very stiff in the pan. Not even sure if I'm going to be able to do even half a decent swatch dry. This is a kind of, it's a metallic silver but also with a beige tone to it. All right, here we go with the same shadow applied with a damp brush. Still kind of have to utilize this patting motion. Midnight Stroll is a deep metallic midnight blue with a gray tone to it. And After Dark is a deep matte black. Beautiful opaque pigmentation and application on that. Wow, one of the best matte blacks I've swatched, especially from the drugstore. All right, here are your Sultry Nights shades. I love the first half of this palette, and I think that there are some really beautiful and kind of unique shades in here. Not a fan of that one silvery beige right there, whether or not you apply wet or dry. That was kind of a dud, but pretty much everything else is lovely. When it comes to the eyeshadows, I really liked a lot of the shades, and the texture is that kind of super buttery texture, meaning that they're almost so buttery that they don't have as much integrity to them, so that when you go to blend, the colors tend to bleed together. That's very typical Physicians Formula's formula on their eyeshadows, and most of the shades in these palettes is that way also. So just be aware of that, but the texture is very pleasant. They will blend nicely, and I did like a lot of the shades, especially from that second palette. The major drawback of not just the eyeshadow palette, but also the lip balms or lipsticks is the intense fragrance. And in the eyeshadow palettes, if you look at the ingredients, fragrance is in the middle of the list. So that's a good amount of fragrance, and you can tell that. You don't even have to look at the ingredients list. You can tell by the fragrance and the scent that hits your nose even before you open those. So I really dislike that about these products. And almost all Physician Formulas products are that way, unfortunately. All right, so let's move on to the Murumuru Butter Lip Creams. These have an SPF of 15, which is great. They retail on Physician Formula's website for $7.95. There are a total of 12 shades, and I was given a duplicate of one of the shades, so I only have actually 11 unique shades to show you. It's so annoying when that happens, and it happens so often, but I'll get to show you most of these, and make sure you stay tuned for lip swatches too. The company says this is a buttery lip color, providing the ultimate creamy cushion texture to nurture and protect lips. So I'm just going to give you the last two numbers. This is 74, Soaking Up the Sun, 75, Pink Kini, 76, Flamingo Pink, 77, Guava Mama, 78, Brazilian Sunset, 79, Samba Red, 80, Rio de Janeiro, 81, Acai Berry, 82, Mauvin to Brazil, 83, Carnival, and 84, Brazilian Nut. And in terms of the packaging, these come in plastic tubes, and they twist up like so. So first up is Soaking Up the Sun. This is a nude shade. I have a medium nude with a hint of peach. Pink Kini, oh, much more opaque, is a medium, slightly mauve pink, rose pink. Flamingo Pink is more of a peachy baby pink. Guava Mama is a peachy orange, or I guess you'd call it an apricot. Brazilian Sunset is another nudie shade. This one is warm toned with a slight orange tint to it. Samba Red is a fiery coral. Rio de Janeiro is a very vibrant red, but it's kind of like a strawberry toned red. Acai Berry is a berry tone shade. Mauvin to Brazil is a dusty purple, or like a dusty plum shade. Carnival is a deeper berry color. It's a little brighter than this other berry shade. And finally, Brazilian Nut is another nude. It's the deepest nude of the bunch. And again, kind of on the like browny, warm-toned side. Okay, there are your shades. You can see they all have a glossy finish. They all have some sheerness to the pigmentation, although there is variation in terms of some of them being more opaque than others. And again, these have a pretty strong scent. It is very nostalgic. It's a fruity scent, but it reminds me something from my childhood. If any of you guys know what that scent is, please leave it in the comments section below. I just can't place it. When it comes to the lip products, the positives are that these feel really, really nice on the lips. They are a balm texture and they are on the thicker side without having any sort of stickiness or tackiness or goopiness. So they are very nourishing. They will keep your lips hydrated and protected as long as they're existing on your lips. I really like the colors too. You're not going to get exactly what you see in the tube because the shades are more sheer, with the exception of about 2 of them. All of them don't have that opacity, so they'll be a little weaker in pigmentation than what you see in the tube, and they'll probably shift a little more pink or a little more to whatever tone your natural lips are. Now these are on the bulky side, particularly with the packaging, and the tubes are pretty wide. I thought that would be an issue in application. It's actually not for most of the shades because of the sheer pigmentation. The only time that I really found it to be a noticeable issue was with the shade Rio de Janeiro, and I found that really difficult to get a smooth border on that shade. Some of the lighter, paler shades, especially like Guava Mama, they can show if you have any dryness on the lips, which you can probably see in the swatches. They can emphasize that just a little bit. The last thing I'll say about packaging is most of these tubes, when I tried to twist them back down, the lipstick bullet inside actually didn't go all the way back down into the packaging the way they originally came. I had to press them down. So just FYI on that. And of course, the very strong fragrance for me is a negative, and I would even call it obnoxious. Of course, if this is a particular scent that you happen to like, then it probably won't be an issue, but it's very strong and not everyone's going to really love this scent. Oh, and one last thing, the brighter shades do leave a light stain on lips. All right, please leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think, whether you love these fragrances, whether you like Physicians Formula, etc. Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and if it was helpful to you. Hopefully this gave you an insight into whether you're interested in buying any of these. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you in the next video.